Hi everybody! So today we're going to make the meatballs and the sweet and sour sauce. So I've got my ground beef in here. I'm just free pouring. I'm not measuring. I don't measure when I do this with my beef. So I'm using some garlic powder. We like garlic. Pepper. You can put what you want in your meatballs. I'm not putting no onions in here. In this, if I was just making regular meatballs with no sauce, I would put onions in it, but I'm not. And I'm using seasoning salt, just a bit. Okay, I'm going to mix this. I am going to put an egg in here. And a little bit of bread. Not too much, just a tad. Well, this is sticking pretty good so far. So I'm going to cut up my bread, add my egg, and I'll be right back. Okay, I got my bread. I'm just using one slice. I cut the crusts off. So I'm going to cut this pretty small. I've put my egg in there already. This knife is too small for me to use. So just going to cut this up nice and fine. I could put this in my food processor too, but no point in dirtying that just for one slice of bread. So I'll just cut this up. It could be a little chunky too. It's okay. It's going to all mix in and cook. I'm going to put these into my air fryer. I'm not going to put them in a frying pan. The less I can use my stove, because of my air fryer has the capabilities, is what I do. Most times I cannot, but in this instance I can. So that's chopped pretty good. Put that in there. One slice is enough for as much as I'm making. I'm not making a whole bunch. So I'm just going to mix this in. Like so. And once it's mixed, you can't even see the bread. You can't even see it at all. Now I'm going to roll these out. I don't know, I might have a few here. I'm not going to make them overly big, but I'm not going to make them overly small either. About that size. So I'm going to roll these out. Hopefully I get them mostly all the same size here. Because these don't take long to cook in the air fryer. In my air fryer, I cook them at 400 to probably about 15-20 minutes. Yeah, there we go. So these are roughly the same size. So I'll get these rolled up and into my air fryer and I'll be back. Okay, I've got 2 cups of rice. This is my rice cooker right here. So I'm going to put 2 cups of rice, long grain, to 4 cups of water. These things are handy because they also steam vegetables. I've got a little top part for vegetables that go in here, so when this is done, then I will probably steam, I'm thinking carrots. You can use broth too if you don't want to use water. You can use that. My lid, this here is for steaming vegetables that goes into the rice cooker. So it's on warm, put it on cook. My meatballs are in the air fryer. I put them on 350 instead of 400. I put them on for 20 minutes because I will give them a stir here in a little bit. Now for my sauce, I've got my recipe right here. So I'm going to turn this on medium. I need a 1/4 cup of vinegar. A 1/4 cup of vinegar. And I'm going to mix the first 4 ingredients first. So there's my vinegar, a cup of brown sugar, plus a cup of water, and a tablespoon of soy sauce, which I have to get. Okay, I've got my soy sauce. I don't know what is wrong with half of these containers that we get from the store, but they're sure hard to open. 1, 2, 3, 4 tablespoon of soy sauce. Got my whisk. So I got to bring this to a boil. So I put it on medium-high. Medium-high heat. I don't know if you could even see that. I got this new holder for my iPad. I love it, but I can only move my... Oh, I can only move it so far down. This is cornstarch, which is 3 tablespoons, which I will be adding. This is to thicken it up. This recipe is just so easy. So easy, so easy, so easy. So rice is cooking. I'm going to put a little bit of butter in my rice. I use basil. It's with avocado oil. There, that's done. So my butter's in. Stir this. And when this comes to a boil, then I'll return, and then we'll add the cornstarch. Okay, this has come to a boil. I put my cornstarch, 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, into another pot. Just like when you make gravy, I always do it separately, pour the liquid into the cornstarch so it doesn't get clumpy. So I'm going to turn this down. I am going to pour this in this pot. Stir it. Get it back on the heat until it thickens. It's like a coffee color right now, but the color will change. It's almost like coffee. I don't know if I can show you. It's just like coffee, but the color is going to change. It's going to get darker. And I'm going to put a little, see, it's starting to change now, the color. Just a little bit of cold water. There, that's a little brighter. So I'm going to stir this till it gets thick. It's nice and smooth right now. There's no clumps in it. So I believe in doing that with cornstarch, or I've seen people do it with a jar where they put the cornstarch in, then the liquid. That's how I make my gravy. Now it's starting to thicken. Now it is getting thick. And it smells just like sweet and sour sauce. Now I can turn this down. I can turn it off. And I can show you the thickness of it. It's just like a sweet and sour sauce. It's not runny at all. It's nice and thick, and it's creamy. So it has thickened up. It does thick up pretty fast. So that is done. My heat is off. I will let this sit. If you want to water it down a bit, just so it's not like extremely thick, put a little bit of water in at a time. So this recipe is enough for the amount that I made. I'll put a little bit more cold water in there. I just barely added 1/4 cup of cold water. I'll let this sit. And just cover it with this lid. Let that sit. And I will be back when my meatballs are done. Okay, my meatballs are done. I'm going to take these out. And I'm just going to put them right into the sauce, is what I'm going to do. They're just going in. My rice is almost finished. I'm just going to do some mushrooms, some fresh mushrooms. Just in this pot that I was using. I'm not going to dirty any more dishes if I don't have to. But with the rice cooker, it doesn't have a switch that will shut off when it's done. So what you need to do is just watch. Oh, my air fryer's still going. And when it's almost out of water, that's when it's done. And then you can just switch it to keep warm, because it's got a cook cycle and just a warm cycle. So my mushrooms, I'm going to cook, medium heat. I'm just going to stir these up, let them sit, let it soak up the sweet and sour sauce, just like so. This is very, very good. This is so good. So I'm just going to let them sit. Take that off. I'll just sit that on there. Shut this off. My rice is almost done. So when these are cooked and I plate up, I'll be back. Okay, everybody, it's done. I did put a little bit of parsley flakes in my rice as well.
Yeah, bye.
So here it's almost 2 o'clock. I've had breakfast already. I haven't had lunch. So, a little bit of rice. A little bit of mushrooms. Yummy, yummy. That's the proper lid for that. And some meatballs. And sweet and sour sauce. This is a huge plate. I don't know why I got such a big plate. And you can drizzle it on your rice as well. Or just leave it plain if you want. It doesn't matter. I usually just put a little bit. Not too much. And there you have it. Sweet and sour meatballs with rice and mushrooms. Simple, easy, it's delicious. I'll leave the recipe for the sweet and sour sauce in my description box below. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.